Okay, so now let's talk about magic again some more. So magic is whatever, but like when I'm trying to talk about it in a video, it just sounds crazy. So let's look at the idea of magic being real. Is magic real or not? Okay. Well, like you've seen, videos, and I've seen magicians in real life. A lot of us have, and but some of the shit, like the videos and stuff. I mean, they're doing shit that defies reality. Like that one magician froze himself in a block of ice, and shit like this, and that's the draw to a magician is what the fuck, how are they able to, like he had that really long needle, and he stuck it all the way through his arm. This kind of shit defies the laws of physics and stuff, and people don't have explanations for it. Like, so is magic real? Like if me or you were to truly join a cult based in black magic in the dark arts, would we see, would what would happen if I devoted myself to a cult, a black magic, black arts cult, and willingly and consciously opened myself up to allow demons or dark entities to enter me and work through me? What would happen? Is this shit real or is it not? So that's a question, and you'll depending on who you ask, you'll hear a whole range of different answers. Oh no, that stuff's not real. To yes, it is real. When you listen to all these different conspiracy theories or whatever you want to call them, like Richie from Boston is always talking about the interdimensional beings, these satanic interdimensional beings. Is this real or is it not? Right? And only you can decide. Everybody has to do their own research and come to their own conclusions, right? That's why I always say do your own research and come to your own conclusions. By the way, this video is for entertainment purposes only. So, yeah. Any and everything that I say could be wrong. That's why I always say do your own research, come to your own conclusions. So, is magic real? Right? And, again, you look at, a lot of these guys. You got Richie from Boston. You got Pockets of the Future. You got, Styx Hexenhammer. You got True Stream Media. You got, all these different ones. I mean, like when you look at the some of these conversations around vaccines and stuff. Well, is it possible that these things, these controversies around the shots and stuff is black magic? Maybe Bill Gates is involved in the black arts, and a big part of the shot stuff has to do with ritual. Sticking needles in innocent people for fun, just to watch them suffer. This can go on and on. Like, look at Hitler and the Nazis. They were all about the black arts, the occult, everything. That's what they were making, trying to invent, and maybe did invent a time machine. They were working on and possibly invented UFOs, or whatever you want to call them. So is it real or is it not, right? You know, you've got documentaries and stories based on true events. Like, look at you ever seen the movie The Entity from 1982? The movie The Entity is based on actual events where a woman was how do you say that? Repeatedly raped by invisible demons. And it's based on a true story, you know. The movie's called The Entity. It came out in 1980 or 1982. It's called The Entity. It's literally the #1 scariest movie I have ever seen in my life. Watch it alone in the dark. Watch it alone. Get the movie The Entity from 1982, The Entity, and wait until it's about midnight and turn off all the lights and watch it completely alone and watch the entire movie from beginning to end. I guarantee you it will scare the living shit out of you. And it's based on a true story of a woman who was repeatedly raped by invisible demons in her own fucking house. Her own children witnessed it. Okay, so is magic real? Are these things real or are they not? See, because like someone can watch my videos I posted about magic and be like, "Oh wow, listen to this guy. He's crazy. He's talking about magic and demons and demon possession and dark entities and you know, manifesting, you know, spells and spell casting." Well, is it real or is it not? Again, if you or I were to join, I mean legitimately join, without any reservations, join a black arts fucking cult and willingly open ourselves up to inviting dark entities to enter us and work through us, and we made like a genuine effort to open ourselves up to allowing black and dark entities to enter us and work through us, what do you think would happen? How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? How much conviction would it take? Conviction and commitment to a black arts, black magic cult. How much conviction to a black magic cult would it take to actually have a dark entity enter me or you? Is it real or is it not? Oh, that stuff isn't real. Or maybe it's real, but this guy, he's lying. Well, why would you think I was lying? But then you would believe like some documentary about a woman who got repeatedly raped by invisible demons. That's real. But when I tell you my experience, I'm lying. Why would I lie? To get clicks, likes, and views? Does it look like I'm getting a lot of clicks, likes, and views? Does it look like I care that I'm not getting a lot of clicks, likes, and views? If I cared about clicks, likes, and views, I would have shut this channel down a long time ago. I've got like a fucking almost 500 videos on my channel, and I have 8 subscribers. If I cared about getting clicks, likes, and views and subs, I would have fucking gave up on this channel a long time ago. So then what is it? It's not that I care about clicks, likes, and views. So why would I lie? You know, why would I lie about, oh, well, he's not lying. He's just crazy. Oh, so I'm crazy. But when a movie in 1982 comes out in Hollywood and it's based on a true story about a woman who got repeatedly raped by demons, that could be. But that just some Joe Blow that's not famous, or he's not in the movies, and he's not. See, you know, I get so tired of dealing with sheeple retards who, there's only validity to something someone says if they're famous or in Hollywood or an internet influencer or a politician. But if it's just an everyday person, talking about it, and it defies the laws of physics and stuff, they're just lying. They're just lying for attention, or they're just crazy. You know, I'm so sick of the non-player character retards that are just all over the place. Just these zombie non-player characters they're just complete retards. They just can't think outside of the non-player character mentality, you know. So yeah, is magic real? Are dark entities real? You know, look at that guy Malachi whatever, who was on the Art Bell show, which I'm so fucking glad I've watched that particular Art Bell episode a few times. That Malachi guy, he's passed away now, but he was like a world-renowned exorcist who had done I don't know how many hundreds of exorcisms in his life. He was like a professional exorcist, and Art Bell interviewed him. Was he lying? Was Malachi lying when Art Bell interviewed him? And Malachi told Art Bell of all these different experiences he had while performing exorcisms on people. Was that all just lies? He was either lying or he's just crazy. That guy Malachi, he's just crazy. He wrote several books on exorcisms. Some of his books were like #1 bestsellers and shit. Listen, go watch the Art Bell show episode where he interviews that Malachi guy, the exorcist Malachi. You know, you'd have to you would have to have an attention span larger than that of a small gnat or insect, first of all, to really get the effect of that interview Art Bell has with Malachi. You would have to actually pay attention and put your listening ears on. How many people have listening ears that they put on that? How many people actually listen? Very few, arguably very, very few in the world actually have the ability to truly listen. But anyways, yeah, no, is magic real or is it not? You know, what about UFOs? The first time I saw a UFO, I was 15 years old. And I didn't believe either one way or the other. I didn't give a shit about UFOs outside of just watching the X-Files because it was kind of cool and it was okay. You know. Now I love the X-Files, but back when I was 15, it's like, yeah, X-Files is okay. I watched everyone go, whatever, I didn't care. And me and my friend were out smoking a fucking joint like 20 miles outside of town in Idaho, below this the big wide open Idaho skies in the country out in the middle of nowhere. And we saw a fucking UFO, me and my friend. We both saw the same thing. And it only lasted about a minute and a half. We both saw the same thing. And after it happened, we both looked at each other and were like, what the fuck was that? It was an unidentified flying object. So am I lying when I say me and my friend both saw an unidentified flying object? I could describe it to you and explain the whole thing. I have many times in videos. But am I lying or am I just crazy? Or did me and my friend really see what I can describe, which I've described many times before? No, I know what I saw. I know what I saw, and we both saw the same thing, and it was an unidentified flying object. Science cannot explain what me and my friend saw. No way. Except the only explanation science has is a UFO. UFOs, aliens from outer space, interdimensional beings. And that was when I was 15. I've seen several since then. Okay, I could count, let's see, 1, 2, 3. At least 3, and those 3 or 4, and those were just within the last 6 or 7 years. I've seen a bunch. I've seen at least 4 that are like way more crazy than what I saw when I was 15. At least 4 that totally defy the laws of physics, and the only explanation a scientist could ever have for what I saw was a UFO. Interdimensional beings, aliens from another planet. Like, there is no explanation for these things. And I wasn't alone. Yeah, 3 of those times I wasn't alone. There was someone sitting right next to me or standing right next to me, and we just like watched it in awe, and we're like, what the fuck? But so am I lying? Am I crazy? Or did I see an unidentified flying object that cannot be explained by science and stuff? Is magic real? Are UFOs real? I don't know. Was it blue beam? Is that what I saw? Well, maybe, but does that mean that I didn't see whatever it is that I saw? If blue beam were to project something like that, and where people didn't know it was blue beam and they just saw this crazy thing in the sky, well, is that an unidentified flying object? Sure in the fuck is. That's an unidentified, unexplainable object of some sort in the air, in the sky, that people are witnessing. Oh, that was just blue beam. Okay, well, maybe so, maybe not. You weren't even there, so you can't prove anything. All you can do is speculate that it was probably blue beam. Well, blue beam isn't even like provable any more than UFOs. UFOs are just as provable as blue beam. So anyways, again, is magic real? Are these things real? You know, what about death cults? Are there real death cults? Look at what happened in 2019 up through 2020 and 2021 and 2022, and tell me that there aren't actual real death cults. Oh, well, yeah, there are, but what you saw wasn't. You're just lying for clicks, likes, and views. Or oh, yeah, there are, but not what you saw because you're just crazy. Ha, 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 ha. Like, people are, again, going back to the non-player character fucking retardation. The non-player, I just like, you know, the masses and hordes of non-player characters that are just like, ha 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 ha, you're just crazy and a liar, ha ha ha. People that might or might who would be saying that don't even know me at all. Whereas, funny, I have like people that have known me for like 20 years personally, on a personal level, that know that I'm not a madman and I'm not a liar. They know because they actually know me. And they would never say that. But someone that doesn't know me at all, oh, he's just crazy. Ha 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 ha. He's just lying for clicks. Ha 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 ha. The only people that would say that about me are people that don't know anything about me. I know there's like a lot of people that I've known for very, very close with for like 20 years or more. A lot. That know I'm not crazy and that know I'm not a madman, that are like people that are reputable, like people that do cybersecurity for the FBI, that know me personally, that know I'm not a madman, and they know I'm not crazy. Like people from all kinds of different reputable places in the community and society, that know I'm not a madman and they know I'm not a liar, and so they would never say that about me. It's only the person that doesn't know me that would be like, oh man, he's crazy, he's a lion, he's just doing it for likes and views, or he's just mentally ill. Ha 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 ha. You know, again, like just total non-player character, fucking low fucking low vibration, just totally, just nothing, of people of no substance at all. They don't even know anything about me at all. So what we're doing is this is an activity in asking the question, is magic real? Are dark entities real? Like evil spirits and shit like this? You know, again, going back to, let's go back to Art Bell interviewing that exorcist, Malachi the exorcist. Very legitimate interview, 2 hour long. Put your listening ears on and listen to it. Are those real? Well, yeah, those are, but not you, because you're not a famous exorcist and you're not Art Bell. You're just some everyday person. Yeah. Everyday people are actually the most credible people in the world. When you're looking for credibility, are you going to look to internet influencers for credibility? Internet influencers are the ones who all they care about is clicks, likes, views, and subs. Internet influencers, those are the ones that care about clicks, likes, views, and subs. Who else besides internet influencers? Well, Holly weirdos, they're not everyday people. Yeah, there again. Holly weirdos make a living lying. Acting is lying. To act is to lie. They're pretending they're something they're not. Live action role play. Like, these are the most credible people in the world are everyday people. Funny how you rarely see everyday people on YouTube, on BitChute, on Rumble, on Odyssey. You rarely see everyday people putting out videos. Why do you think that is? Everyday people are the most credible people. Far more credible than internet influencers like Richie from Boston likes gold.com, right? Everyday people are the most credible people in the world. More credible than internet influencers, more credible than famous actors. What about politicians? Are everyday people more credible than politicians? Well, anyone with half a brain knows the correct answer to that question. Again, everyday people are the most credible people in the world. They don't really have anything to gain by lying. It's politicians that have everything to gain by lying, you know. And actors, look at how much money actors make lying. Internet influencers, look at how much money they make, 5 and 6 figures a year at least off of their shitty channels. Just total dog shit diarrhea channels. An everyday person's channel outshines an influencer in every way. Everyday people don't have a motive for gaining anything from doing a channel. Again, why do you think why is it so difficult to find everyday people doing channels on YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute? Why do you think that is? Maybe that's they're censoring. It's censorship, and suppression of the truth. Well, if everyday people are the most credible, reliable sources, well, then it would make sense that a corrupt system would suppress those voices so that all anybody hears are the internet influencers and the Hollywood stars and the politicians. We don't want to hear everyday voices of everyday people, because those people are more likely to tell the truth than any internet influencer or Hollywood star or politician, right? But yet, why is it so hard to find everyday people channels? Maybe it's because people aren't really interested in the truth. Maybe it's true that the thing you need to know about the truth is that there's what people want to hear, there's what people want to believe, there's everything else. Then there's the truth, right? Then there's the truth. Or do people really want the truth, or do they just want to hear what they want to hear? Do they only want to just believe what they want to believe? Or do they are they really seeking truth? Or are they only seeking confirmation bias? What are they seeking? Why is it so hard to find everyday people voices on BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, and YouTube? Why? Why do you think all this is? So again, is magic real? Am I lying? Am I a liar or a madman? Or when I'm talking about things that I've seen regarding the subject of magic, that I'm not lying, I'm just telling you what I saw. I've encountered this a lot, like in my life, and I think everyday people have. We all experience things that are just not explainable, that defy the laws of physics and reality, and it's kind of, in a sense, it's kind of common. Like, that's where, haven't you heard the saying, truth is stranger than fiction? We're not living in a fictional movie. We're living in reality. truth is stranger than fiction. So, like, fiction is actually a watered down version of reality. When we watch fictional movies and read fictional books and stuff, that's just a watered down version. If truth is stranger than fiction, then all fiction is a watered down version. This is why many artists use the medium of music and art and film and stuff to convey truths, is because people don't want the truth anyways. People are trying to escape truth. So you can slip truth in using the medium of art and film and music, and people will take in some of these truths because it's more palatable when it's watered down. If you want to get truth out to people, water it down through the use of science fiction and music and story times and fables and myths, mythology. You know what I'm saying? Like mythology, movies, They Live, The Matrix, books and books on mythologies, all around the world. Mythologies around the world, Native American mythologies, Greek mythologies, Roman mythologies, Nordic and Viking mythologies, like worldwide mythologies. Dude, like, when people don't want the truth, but the truth needs to get out, artists, and this is why art and film is so important. This is why in the book 1984, it's illustrated that they were destroying art and music and stuff because the truth is within these things. So we can, and in 1984, they want to suppress the truth. They want everybody dumbed down to NPC levels of thought. And so we must remove art and music and all this film and all this stuff and books and literature. It must all be removed because those things get people thinking. Like the movie They Live gets you thinking. If you actually pay attention to the movie, it gets you thinking. If you don't really pay attention, you can still be entertained. It's entertaining, but when you really start looking at what this movie is saying, it gets you to really think. Same with the movie The Matrix. Visually, it's entertaining, but if you really pay close attention to all the dialogue and everything, it gets you thinking a lot about stuff that people don't talk about. So film, art, music, and theater is all very important. This is why people like Frank Zappa devoted their entire lives to defending art and music and free speech and theater and, because, a lot of times because people don't want the truth, a way to slip in truth is through movies and music and stuff. So anyways. But yeah, going back to magic. Is magic real? Are dark entities real? Are demons real? Is demon possession real? Like if I explain a strange encounter, that an unexplainable encounter I had with what appeared to be dark entities and spell casting, and I try to explain it, and people think, oh, well, this guy's crazy, right? Really? What about, is money magic real? Think about money magic. Think about the term money magic, okay? Let's say you have a corporation, right? And you have the CEO of the corporation. Well, the CEO makes 500 times what the company's average worker makes, okay? But is the CEO working 500 times harder than its average employee? What is money magic? Is that money magic? If a CEO of a corporation is getting paid 500 times the average employee's salary, isn't it fair to ask the question, is that CEO working 500 times more and being 500 times more productive than the company's average employee? And the obvious answer to that question is no. And really what's likely is that CEO isn't doing anything. It's a pyramid scheme that's where slaves are the ones doing everything, and the CEO is like on 7 day a week vacation, doesn't do anything. Okay, that's money magic. So tell me money magic isn't real when your typical corporation, the CEO of that corporation typically makes 500 to 1,000 times what its average employee does. So money magic isn't real? That's money magic. That is money magic. So is it real or is it not? When I'm talking about that the illusion is real, the illusion is real. The illusion that CEO is so important that they deserve 500 times what the average employee makes, that illusion is real. Like the CEO doesn't do jack shit. The CEO is just like getting blowjobs all day and doing nothing unless he feels like working. Like they're not doing anything. But the average employee of that corporation is doing everything. They're the ones that do everything, and they only get paid one 500th of what the CEO makes. That's money magic. Is magic real or is it not? Like, how much magic, like this, like money magic, is going on all around us all the time, and nobody's even acknowledging that it's happening. That's magic. Not only is that magic, it's black magic. That's magic that is based on lies and deception and illusion. That is black magic. A CEO making 500 times what the corporation's average employee makes is black magic. That's like Luciferian, Freemasonic, based in the principles of Illuminati magic. It's malicious. It's very malicious, and it's based in greed and lies and deception and illusion. Is magic real or is it not? Like, I'll just end with this. So one time I was at it was like my third Grateful Dead show. I got to see the Grateful Dead before Jerry Garcia died. I got to see like 13 shows. You want to talk about magic? You go. I can't believe people would even question what I'm saying now that when I think back on those 13 Grateful Dead shows that I saw. You can visibly see real magic at Grateful Dead shows, and it's common. And I know I'm saying this, and I know you don't believe me. I know you don't. But see, that's because you've never been to a Grateful Dead show before Jerry Garcia died. Dude, before Jerry Garcia died in 1995. I got to see at least 13 Grateful Dead shows with Jerry Garcia. And dude, like, observing magic at a Grateful Dead show is like the same as seeing a car drive by in the mundane world. Like, magic is just a common thing at Grateful Dead shows. I know you won't believe me. You can't believe me. But that's because you've never been to a Grateful Dead show. Ask anybody who has earned their wings having been to many Grateful Dead shows before Jerry Garcia died, and they'll tell you the same thing. Magic is a common thing. You will see it often at Grateful Dead shows. And I don't know why. I don't know. But it's real. And I know people aren't going to, it's like, okay, whatever, dude. Believe whatever the fuck you want. I've seen magic. And I didn't go to the show expecting to see magic. Like, it's everywhere. Magic at a Grateful Dead show is everywhere. But then, so let's go into this a little bit. If you have a collective group of people all at a Grateful Dead show, and they all have a similar mindset, whether it's negative in the mindset or positive, it's still a similar mindset. You'll have negative mindset, people with negative mindset at a Grateful Dead show, but they're just practitioners of the dark arts. They're there to practice the dark art of black magic. They know that magic is real. But see, like I was saying in my previous video, dark and black magic isn't real. That's why practitioners of the dark arts don't like real magic, because the dark arts is totally based in the illusion of magic. And you'll see the illusion and the real magic at Grateful Dead shows. And it's like visible. Like, it'll happen in front of a whole crowd of people. And it's fairly common at a Grateful Dead show. You'll see it. Like, and I mean, think of how big a Grateful Dead show is. Like, if there's 3,000, 4,000 people, not only will there be an incident where, like, the majority of that whole audience sees real magic happen, an event where everybody's, like, the majority of the audience sees it. There's also all kinds of stuff going on, all kinds of other shit going on, like within certain circles. Like, it's all happening simultaneously. And again, so you think about it. You have 5,000 people at a Grateful Dead show, all with a similar mindset. Okay, not all. Say 7/8 of the entire audience of 4,000 people are all of a similar mindset. And then let's say half of those people are on LSD. So and like 7/8 of that 4,000 people are all of a similar mindset, and at the bare minimum, half of the 4,000 people are on LSD. You don't think that real magic happens under situations like that? Why do you think that the CIA was involved, the CIA and the FBI were involved with the Grateful Dead? They were studying the phenomena of magic in connection to LSD and like a large group of 4,000 people, all with a similar mindset, at least half of them on LSD. The CIA encouraged this so that the CIA could observe and study these large groups of people, all in a similar mindset, with at least half of them on LSD, all gathered together in one location. You're telling me that the CIA hasn't seen real magic? Hasn't seen what the fuck goes on at a Grateful Dead show? You're telling me that they wouldn't suppress that information? That the CIA is gathering all this information while they study and observe 4,000 people all on LSD at a Grateful Dead show, and the CIA is observing and studying the phenomena and the effects of this type of thing, and then they're just gonna release all that. CIA is gonna release all that information to the public of what they studied and observed all those years of the Grateful Dead. They're not suppressing that information and hiding it. No, they're just releasing it all to the public. And so they're going to tell you the truth about what's going on in the Grateful Dead show. See, you don't understand. All these people, they're people that, like these deadheads and shit that have been going to these shows for years. They know that there's magic there. That's why they're going. They know that when you gather thousands of hundreds and thousands of people, all with a similar mindset that's semi or more focused on magic and things like this, and they're all on LSD, like half or more of them are all on LSD. There's magic, real magic, not hallucinatory magic, actual real magic. And it's common. You see, it's a common thing to see at a Grateful Dead show. The CIA knows this. That's why the CIA was so deep and involved in the whole deadhead phenomena. They encouraged it. They pushed the LSD. They were putting LSD out there. They were encouraging people to take it. So that the CIA and these other black ops could observe and study the phenomena of magic and supernatural that occurs at a Grateful Dead show. And all of these people that have been going to these shows all the time, they experienced real supernatural events often. It's common at a Grateful Dead show. And it wasn't hallucinations that were induced by LSD. It was actual real things that were happening because of what happens when you gather a large group of hundreds and thousands of people, like tens of hundreds of people with a similar mindset, focused on magic in some form or other, and half or more of them all on LSD at a Grateful Dead show. That type of thing manifests events in reality, and I'm telling you, you'll see. At a Grateful Dead show, I saw a black magician conjure dark clouds around me and him. Like, I was talking to him, and he leaned into me, and as soon as he leaned into me, he drew in dark cloud all around us, and nearly blocked out whatever light there was, because it's black magic, it's dark arts. They thrive on darkness and blackness, like light of any form. Light of any form is like black magic repellent. Even just a regular light. You turn on a light, the people involved in the dark arts and black magic, light is not their friend. It doesn't matter if it's a fluorescent light or light in general is not an ally of the dark arts. So they don't like light. Practitioners of the dark arts do not like light. And they work in darkness. Like literal darkness. Figurative and literal. But literal, yeah, they don't like light, dude. So again, you're telling me that there's nothing going on at dead shows. You're telling me that none of this phenomena was not happening at Grateful Dead shows all those years that Jerry Garcia was alive. Even though you've never been to a Grateful Dead show, you don't know anything about the Grateful Dead at all. But you're telling me that you know, and that I don't. I don't know anything. And this is what I'm saying. So when I'm talking about magic, and the viewer's like knee-jerk reaction response is that this guy's crazy, he's talking conspiracy theory stuff. Really? Yeah. Or that I'm just lying. Yeah, magic is real, but he's just lying because he's crazy. NPC, dude, people that do that, they're trying to hide, just like the CIA is trying to hide it. Like they're trying to suppress the truth about magic and this stuff, like shit that goes on at dead shows. The CIA is not only are they studying it and observing, they're suppressing the truths that they're discovering from the general population, from the people. And so when somebody comes in and says, oh yeah, that guy's full of shit, they're part of it. They are, whether they know it or not, they're part of the suppression of the truth of this stuff. But the thing is unless you're dealing with some like really powerful being like Satan or something, no matter how draining, physically draining and dangerous black magicians and people of this kind of thing are, it's, well, part of it is based on the individual. Like if I'm not grounded, if I'm not grounded at all, that's when they just go after vulnerable people. They go after the weakest people outside of, any kind of powerful one like Satan or something. The majority of them, they go after weak, the weakest, like children. Children are not strong. They're just physically not strong. That's why, adrenochrome and baby sacrifice and all that, that's who they go at, because they're cowards. The black arts and black magic and all that stuff is all based in pure cowardice in its most purest form. Cowardice is strength. Cowardice is strength. But see, that that's not true. That cowardice is there is nothing more weak than cowardice. And so if you think realistically, if you're like a realist in that sense, that cowardice is the opposite of strength. But see, to a black arts practitioner, everything is inverted. That's why, like the Illuminati and Freemasons, they want to invert everything, And so they hate reality. They can't stand reality. They can't stand the truth and reality. These are their adversaries, And so even if you don't believe in any of this stuff, but yet you still pursue truth and stuff, you're going to get attacked. You're going to get attacked by them. Because they exist in physical form like NPCs. They work through NPCs. And so, so they do exist in physical form in that sense. But anyways, like it's, it gets really complex. So, and these are just my thoughts. This is just me, being honest. It's just me using YouTube and as a medium to just express my thoughts. I don't know. I know very little. I'm just based off of my experience and things that I've seen and done and stuff, like Grateful Dead. I'm not shaming a person because they never experienced the Grateful Dead when Jerry Garcia was alive. What I am doing though is I'm telling you what I saw at Grateful Dead shows. I'm not even a hippie. I'm a fucking metalhead. And I'm telling you, like, that shit is life-changing. When you see that shit, it's life-changing. And people can always rationalize it away by saying, oh, they were high on LSD, so it must have just been a hallucination. That's part of the whole thing, as how the CIA and these other black ops operations keep the truth suppressed. But they know, I'm telling you, the CIA and those people like that, they know what's going on at the Grateful Dead shows. And they have seen this same phenomena, real magic. And they are intentionally suppressing it. And they're trying to study it through controlled experiments, using large masses of people, like tens of hundreds of people, all gathered together in a particular location that's kind of semi excluded from the general public, mixed in with LSD and things like this, coupled with many other elements that are all positioned in place intentionally as an experiment. And dude, I'm telling you, the CIA and these kinds of guys, they have seen like shit that and they'll never admit to it, like aliens and demons and all this stuff. They've seen shit that is beyond the three-dimensional, and they know it's real, but they're not telling you or me or anyone. And that's their job, is to study and observe this shit. And so again, is magic real? Is this stuff real? Am I just lying? Am I just, whatever? So anyways, I've rambled enough on that, right?